Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Happy that it's Friday. Last I checked, it is the end of the work week, and it's going to be a very interesting weekend because we're transitioning into it's going to be an extensive, dramatic heat wave. Humidity may not be off the chart, but it doesn't take much. As long as it's in the low to mid 60s and you're in the upper 90s, it's going to be tough. And we will be flirting, I think, easily with 100 degrees, maybe even higher on Monday. I might be alone on that. I don't know if you check other weather sources, but I believe 100 degrees tends to be a little shy to put that on our map here in East Tennessee, but it's happened before. In fact, the record high today is 104. That's going back to 1930, though. But we've hit 100 many times before. It will not be the first time. Visibility right now not showing up as bad with patches of fog where you see the 10 miles, that's the max. There's maybe a few gray areas between Hancock County and Claiborne County, Granger County, Union County. But I would imagine the fog is not much of an issue this morning. Right now, temperatures vary once again. Low to mid 60s. We have 62 Crossville. It's 67 in both Knoxville and Oak Ridge, and Sevierville coming in at 63 degrees. Those are your current temperatures. We have 64 in Rockwood and Athens. We have 63 in Newport, and our friends in Middlesboro, Bell County, checking in at 62 degrees. So that's our starting point this morning. Yesterday, we got up to 91 degrees. Does that surprise you? 91 degrees, pretty warm. Given the fact that yesterday, the day before, was 87, we did get a break. We did get a break on Wednesday at 87. But yesterday, 91, started the morning off at 64, which is kind of where we are now. We're still in the mid-60s. And then normal high and low, 89, 69. So you would expect temperatures to be around 89 in the afternoon this time of July. In fact, the average high this time of year stays at 89 through the 21st of July. And then it's back to 88 for the rest of the month. Record high 104, 1930. Record low 57, 1963. And 1926. So I like to give you a context. If you're on the call, love to say hello to you because I'm going to be looking at the comments here and be able to put you on the screen. I got a note from Danny. Good morning, Danny. Danny's on here. Let's see if he has a good morning, David. Friday. It is Friday. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go Big Orange. Go Vols. Happy to have Danny on Facebook. Steven Snyder's checking in as well. He says, happy Friday. Stay hydrated. Get some rest. The heat will drain the energy out of you. Yes, it will. He's in Houston, but has obviously local ties here in East Tennessee and great interest here. Good Friday morning from Rockford. Good morning, Steve Stone. He's on YouTube, as I can see from the red moniker there in the bottom right. It's a YouTube post. So again, if you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, I'd love to say hi to you. Good morning to you. So temperatures this morning, 64, Madisonville, 64 in Greenville. Dew points are in the low 60s. And they'll be generally in the low to mid 60s for the next couple of days. But with the temperatures climbing ever so high, it's going to be very taxing for you, your pets, elderly, young, old, all alike. It's going to be tough to take because we haven't had a stretch like this for quite some time. The ultimate Doppler radar is not showing any rain. Well, that's the problem. I know. I've heard that. I see that on Facebook. It is the problem. We've been very dry, which we'll look at here with the drought monitor, which came out yesterday. If you haven't seen it, we have drought conditions. But the ultimate Doppler radar presented by your local Marco's Pizza. Check out the marcos.com website. If you're planning lunch here on a Friday, maybe you're interested in a pizza, maybe a sandwich. They've got it all. Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville. Locations also in Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, and Anderson County, as well as Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. They have a great pepperoni pizza, less than $10, called the Magnifico, limited time, and the new Pozzoli, also less than $6, a delicious lunch item. I might brag on that. They do give back quite a bit to the local community, as they are corporate sponsors of No Kid Hungry. By the way, if you talk about a contrast, look at our friends in North Carolina. Do my eyes deceive me? Is that a flash flood? We're complaining that we have no rain, and just a couple hundred miles or so off to the west, off to the east, west of Raleigh, they have a flash flood warning that runs till 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning, because today is the 12th. That's Randolph County, and they've got more flood concerns in green, so aerial flood watches in other parts of the Tar Heel State. Amazing stuff, how big a contrast. So if you were headed to the beaches, you're going to find more unsettled weather with showers and clouds, and even in some cases, apparently some flooding. By the way, you can see quiet across the Great Lakes. Back to the far west, there's some activity in Missouri, some downpours, maybe some shower storms, obviously there in parts of South Texas. Really quiet elsewhere as things have quieted down, even off the coast of Florida, where we'll talk about hurricane possibilities. But it would be irresponsible of me not to mention that places like Las Vegas, which is used to hot weather, it's a desert after all, that they're under an excessive heat warning for temperatures, dangerously high temperatures of like 118, 122. Crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. I think hibernation when I think about 118. So it could be worse. Southern California, not much better. San Bernardino, California, San Bernardino County in California, also under this excessive heat warning. Everything's relative, but there are some concerns out there. All right, let's talk about the drought, because I know some of you are concerned, as you should be. If you have a garden, if you have tomato, cucumber plants, you can only water so much, I would imagine, before it gets tiresome. But do we have some new colors to introduce? That's the orange area. That's a severe drought. Now, there's only 5 levels. If you look at the legend at the top of my screen here, we go from abnormally dry in yellow, moderate drought in brown, and it's a light brown, and then the severe is orange, and then it goes to extreme in red, to an exceptional drought in burgundy. Thankfully, we're not there, but we could all jump up a category in the next week. Anything's possible because I just don't have much rain in the forecast until Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and even that may be widely scattered. The drought monitor shows it's dry or abnormally dry in Kodak, Seymour, Dandridge, and Sevierville. If you're on the call, let me know, because I want to say hello to you. Fred's on here. We're going to put him on as we look further into the drought monitor. Good morning, everyone. Take care with the coming oppressive heat. It is going to be oppressive. That's a good word for it, no doubt. But thank you, Fred, for your update. As far as what you're seeing, we've got Newport colored in yellow. It's a moderate drought. If you're in Luttrell, if you're in Maynardville, if you're in Sharps Chapel, in Clinton, Oak Ridge is under a moderate drought. And if you look at Knoxville proper, on the right side of your screen, it's a level 1 for the city. But northwest of the city, we're looking like Carnes, Farragut, Hardin Valley, under a moderate drought. If you're in Rockwood, Kingston, you turn orange, that's a severe drought. So everything may be relative. I know we have an above average amount of rain since the start of the year. When you factor in the big snows we had in January, melted snow, rain, melted snow, I think we're about 3.5 inches above normal for the year. But because we've had such a dry stretch and we've got such a hot stretch going forward in the next 6 days, it's going to be very taxing, very tough for those of you who are trying to keep your lawn manicured and green. It's going to be very challenging, no doubt. Tellico Plains, moderate drought. Dayton, Decatur, Spring City, Crossville under a severe drought. It's just not a pretty picture. And again, this comes by way of our friends at NOAA. Our friends at NOAA actually talking about the drought. This comes out every Thursday morning around 8:30 a.m. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm looking at some of the notes on my phone as I come back online. I see here Debbie, Paul, and Debbie Smith are watching, so glad to have you. Some are watching, some are posting comments. Fred's on here. Angela White is now watching. Good to have you here, Angela. And as you continue to watch, as I do, the drought conditions, it's only going to get worse. You'll notice some red patches in South Carolina, and we have some extreme drought in parts of West Texas, southern New Mexico. So those are the hot spots that are a big concern. By the way, it's 6:48. My goal is to be done in 12 minutes. There's so much to cover here. The fact that we've had now what? We've had 2 days in July that didn't hit 90. We've had 11 days. That's now in the rearview mirror. So we've had now, what, 9 days of 90 plus. The one that was on Thursday, Independence Day, was a tie. We tied the record high. I think we're going to break the record high this Monday. Well, that's pretty bold. Just like 4 or 5 days in advance. I know. That's what I do, right? I'm not shy. I don't walk around going, I'm afraid to be wrong. I like to be right, and I like to be the first to tell you. So I can tell you that Thursday, Independence Day, was a tie. I think as we head towards, say, what is the 15th? That's Monday. The record high is 98 from 1995. I think we're going to hit 100. Oh, that's bold. That's why we like you. That's why we watch you, David. Good news. Glad to have you with me. By the way, average versus 2024, we normally see the most number of 90-degree days in July. That's not unusual. But again, everything is averages. Sometimes it's above, sometimes it's below. Last year was a below year, below average. But so far, 9 days in July, and we've got a lot still to come. A lot still to come. Could we get a pullback in August? We could, as we explore that each and every day on the Captain Accurate premium side. So you might want to consider subscribing to our plan. It's great because you get so much extra weather information. 23 days well passes what we had last year. I remember last year was hot. Not really. Not in terms of 90-degree days, it wasn't. In 2021, 2022, we had 41 days. Imagine that. But we've had even worse than that. Relatively speaking, some really love the heat. We had 60 days in 2019. And you can see we even had 77 back in 2010, 76 in 2016. So we've had hot summers. Hottest one goes back to the 1930s. And we've had as few, I believe, as 5 going back to the early 1900s or even mid-1961. We had 1961, I think, was about 5, but I'll have to double check. Very few days have also occurred. The rainy summer of 2013 only gave us 11 days, so it can vary. Wind speeds not moving much this morning. Here at 6:51, the clouds, where are those? Don't see many clouds, at least today, but with the heating of the day, some scattered cumulus clouds will form, but it's it doesn't escape me the irony that if you were headed to the beaches of North Carolina, how unsettled, rainy, cloudy, you'd say, man, this isn't what I bargained for. So if you're trying to escape the heat and you're going to the beaches, they're going to be under a slow moving low pressure system that's going to continue to rain there at times. Temperature right now, 67 in Knoxville, 71 in Nashville, and 71 in Chattanooga. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. I want to say good morning to Yolanda. Yolanda, good morning, Yolanda. I had a chance to meet her when I went to my Crossville Spotlight many months ago now, as we are still voting on the best Spotlight Viewer's Choice. I still have something very special planned for the winner. Right now, I believe Maryville's leading the pack, but any number of votes could change that at short notice. So let me know if you like the spotlights. You'll be able to find it on my Facebook page. Fred's on here. He says, good morning, everyone. Take care with the coming oppressive heat. But Yolanda, good morning to you in Cumberland County. It is 76 degrees right now in Memphis, while it's 77 in Charlotte, with the dew points so low in yellow. Really, sometimes the feels-like temperature doesn't even apply. So the actual temperature is what it feels like. And that's why we have no numbers on the feels like here in Knoxville or Johnson City, for example. But it does feel like it's 77 in Memphis, 79 in Charlotte. By the way, the humidity does play cat and mouse. Look at this, how it pulls back a little bit, but there's still some green. By 5 o'clock, it may not be humid at all, and that's okay. But you can imagine by, say, later tonight, it tries to come back. Dew points kind of flirting into the upper 50s, low 60s for the next couple of hours, and right through tomorrow morning, it does turn sticky once again. So the stuffy air will not disappear all that fast. It'll come racing back as we head into the Saturday evening time frame. Sunday looks very sticky. As you can see, more dark green areas in spots, especially over Kentucky, and it's just kind of on the edge. Like I said, the humidity will not be off the chart. It's going to be the heat that really wears you down if you're not careful. This is what we're going to get more of. We're going to get more of this. The hazy sunshine that you and I are used to seeing in summer is here in full force. Not much to see in terms of clouds. Sun came up now at 6:30. Look at the times now. We're losing a minute. Oh, man, it was 8:54 just like yesterday. I know. Now, sun sets at 8:53. It will be a hot day today. No doubt with it turning even hotter than yesterday, because yesterday was 91. We're going to be 5 degrees hotter, I believe, this afternoon. So prepare accordingly and make sure that you pace yourself. That's always a good tip. Wearing light-colored clothing, taking a water bottle wherever you go. And if you're enjoying time in the Smokies, it's still going to be very warm there, too, depending on how high in elevation you go. 79 at 10, 92 at 2. Man, that's a fast jump. Yeah, we warm up very quickly today, so pick out your favorite town. Not everybody gets to 96. Some may be so lucky to get to 97, like Athens or Kingston. 90 for Crossville. That's what I expect to see in Crossville, Cumberland County today. And I noticed 93 for a high in Middlesboro. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. I see Rick is watching. Charlene is watching. Rita is watching. I'm getting all these updates on my phone. Wanda Poe is on here. She's got a note. Let's see what Wanda has to say as we look at this forecast a little bit longer. See pick out your favorite town. Wanda's saying, David's not long for the Vols football. Go Vols. I agree. Football time in Tennessee, I believe the first game is August the 31st. So I think we'll be longing for cooler weather, and we may very well see a little bit of a pullback as we head into August. We can sometimes expect that. By the way, the 7-day outlook, they removed, the Hurricane Center did, concern for anything naming, like the next name storm has disappeared from the map. They had a 10% chance east of Florida. There's still a 20% chance west of Mexico in the Pacific. Something new could form down there. But for us, the one that was off the coast, still going to rain in spots, as we indicated in North Carolina, but there's still going to be less of a concern that something gets organized to a named storm. But we don't want to dismiss the hurricane season just yet, as we know we have usually August and September to look forward to more activity. That's a historical view. By the way, it's 6:55. The next named storm would be Debbie. If Debbie is watching, and you're hearing your name at the water cooler, they may be talking about a storm, because you may be the next named hurricane, or maybe just a tropical storm. We'll see what happens. It will be followed up by Ernesto and Francine. Those are the next three names on this year's list. Precipitation chances, dry, dry, dry. I don't have any rain today. I don't have any rain tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center may vary a little bit, as I'll show you here momentarily, but I think the best chance of rain will come in Wednesday into Thursday. So be patient. It comes with some very hot days, no doubt. It is 6:56. Hazy sun, hotter today, very hot days ahead. I mean, like some of the hottest days we've seen all season. So if you liked back in January, what was it, 8.5 inches of snow? We had days where the snow didn't melt. Well, this is kind of like the reverse, right? We're having hot weather. It just gets hotter and hotter, and it stays hot. So this, from January to July, you get all things, and very little rain ahead, as I mentioned, just in the middle part of next week. Looks like our best chance. 67, current temperature with no wind. Our dew point is acceptable, right? This time of year, a 62-degree dew point is okay. If it were 68, you'd feel like, or 67, you'd feel like it was awful. But the Valley Planner takes us to about 96 today. So plan accordingly. Times there show that we're around 87 at noontime, so if you're making lunch plans, make sure you're aware. Kevin, I want to say good morning to my friend Kevin. Kevin's on here. He's one of my premium members. He's got a note here. Kevin Parchment is on here, and he's noting he's got something to say about good morning. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you very much. It's a feel-good Friday, Kevin. Glad to have you here watching as well. As it is now 6:57, let's get to the Storm Prediction Center maps. I mentioned that they themselves, the SPC, has some thunderstorms, the lightest box there, lightest green. No severe weather, but they think we have a chance for some rain going into Saturday or Sunday. Let's take a look at that. Most of the dark green areas today are going to be up in the Dakotas, into Nebraska. These are the areas that might get an isolated severe storm. That would be west of Kansas City, but it would include Rapid City, South Dakota. Now, closest rain today might make it to Nashville, into Music City, certainly Memphis and Louisville, but nothing going on here. So if you were hoping for something to flare up with the heating of the day, think again. Now, coming into Saturday, rephrase that, it is actually Sunday that the Storm Prediction Center thinks we're going to get something. I just don't see it. I think it could make it to Bowling Green, but I don't think it'll make it anywhere in East Tennessee. Saturday, obviously some severe weather may break out in yellow. That's the scattered severe storms in Minneapolis, St. Paul, parts of Wisconsin, even Chicago could get an isolated severe storm on Saturday. Clearly no coloring here, no rain threat. But you'll notice they covered all of Tennessee on Sunday. Interesting, because like I said, I don't see it reaching here. Fargo could have some scattered severe storms Sunday. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, some isolated. But they do place most, if not all, of Tennessee under that first color, which would mean thunderstorm chances. I just don't see it making it past Richmond. I don't see it making it past Corbin or Bowling Green. I think there could be some flare-ups on Sunday. I just don't see it here. So that's just where I differ. Sometimes I differ from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center. I don't see rain being an issue. But the Futurecast shows this very slow-moving system on the East Coast, as it's now 6:59. Places like the I-95 corridor, the D.C., Richmond, and also Philadelphia areas continue to see more showers and storms. Heading into Saturday, yeah, there's a few showers around Louisville, southern Indiana, but it has a hard time reaching here because of this big dome of high pressure. There's the Bowling Green shower or two that I just don't think it's going to make it or have a chance to make it to a neighborhood near you. But heading into Sunday, we keep things dry. We are in an island unto ourselves as we head into a very hot Monday. Monday, I have our temperatures running right at about 100 degrees. Feels like temperature could easily be 105 or higher. Futurecast, pick out your favorite town. By the time we hit noontime, we should be around 85 in Morristown. We should be around 84 in Wartburg at 12 noon today, and 87 in Knoxville. Finishing the day with some scattered clouds around 96. 96, that's hot. That's very hot, and I do think we'll continue on that path. It's like 6 o'clock. It's still 96. It's hot. And then tonight, with mostly clear skies, overnight lows should be dropping down to about 70 first thing tomorrow morning. So if you're up early on Saturday, upper 60s to near 70 can be expected. By Saturday afternoon, you can see that what appears to be a shower, I think, is bad data. I think we're dry across the board, and I would not put much, if any, expectation of rain in our region. If you head up toward northwest Kentucky, I think there is that chance of it showing up. But today, looking for a high of 96. It's now 7 o'clock, straight up. Very thankful for you, as this information, again, might be serving you well. Prepare accordingly. Again, just pace yourself. That's the key. High today of 90 for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, 91 for Greenville, 88 for Jamestown. There's a cool spot for you. But 97 is what I expect for Athens and McMinn County and the Southern Valley. Chattanooga could easily hit 97. Atlanta, 95. Lexington, Kentucky, 92 degrees is what I expect today if you're traveling on the road. Mostly clear tonight. It's sticky-er. Lows around 70 because we're in the 60s by and large now. And the winds are going to be generally variable, 0 to 5 miles per hour. Tonight we're down to 67 for Wartburg and Morristown, about 67 for Jefferson City and Dandridge, 70 for Maryville, Alcoa, 68 for Sevierville and Tellico Plains, around 70. Looking ahead to your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee, you know it's humid when the overnight lows are in the low to mid 70s, and they're coming to a theater near you, so to speak. The record high for Monday, as I mentioned, goes back to 1995, 98 degrees. So we'll call that very hot. I mean, even if we hit 99, we still have a new record high. So I think that's just low-hanging fruit. The other records, Sunday and Tuesday, I believe are triple digits. So we will still need to watch those records, but I think the one that will most likely fall is where I put the little exclamation point at the top there. Now, 89 on Thursday, that's the cool day to look forward to, but that's because we have showers and storms. I'll revisit this forecast, at least the extended part, with the rain opportunities a little bit later this afternoon, but very thankful that you all stuck around this long. It's now 7:02. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. Thank you, Kelly. She's on here. She's saying good morning. Kelly Hart, she's in Cumberland County, and I believe I have Brenda Perkins on here too. She wants to say hello. She's greeting us with just maybe a comment with no message. I could read between the lines, I guess, but I love what Wanda's pointing out. She says, stay safe and drink lots of water. Very good tips there for sure. But again, very thankful for you. Please stay safe. Make sure the pets are checked on. Don't leave anyone, pet or child or family member, old or young, in the car this weekend, because if you lock that car, make sure the air conditioning's running, just make sure you play it safe and pace yourself. We'll see you here next time. My name is David Aldridge. Thanks for being here. Take care.